What is up, everybody? It's 7 o'clock. It's Sunday night. It's that time again. It's time for Gaming Beyond the Box. And sorry we missed everybody last week, but like I said, the wife and I had some plans. So I'm married to her, not y'all. So guess what? She comes first.
100%.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Happy wife, happy life. That's just kind of how it goes.
Indeed.
Oh, for sure.
Sorry.
For sure.
And she's probably most cuter than most of y'all out in the chat too. So, but
anyway, definitely cuter than us.
Well, no, Bomber's a close run in with that, his manicured eyebrows and stuff. But anyway,
pink shorts.
That's right. Like pink shorts and eyebrows done. That's right.
Salmon, damn it.
All right. Anyway, we've got a few topics. I think a few games that came out this week.
Oh, yeah.
The ink has finally dried. ABK is a done deal. Thank God. And this week, Alan Wake, who, I'm sorry, Spider-Man, I played the first one. I got to confess, I was lost because I know nothing about superheroes, any of them, honestly. So I was lost on the first one. I had no idea what I was doing. So the second one, I'm going to hold off on it until later. But Alan Wake is in my sights for later this week. I've got this thing preloaded and ready to go.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And there's also another game called Stray Souls that comes out, I think, on Wednesday. And if you're, it's actually on it's on PlayStation as well. I'm not sure if it's going to Xbox, but if you guys aren't familiar with it, Artor from oh God, now the name just went right by my head. The guys that did Layers of Fear, doing the new Silent Hill, did Blair Witch. He's part of their team, so he's working on this game. So that means it's definitely a shoe-in for me this week. Mm-hmm. It's spooky season, and everybody knows me. I love horror games anyway. I play them all year long, so this is a better excuse to play them right now. But enough about that. Let's get down to the panel. And at the bottom right, Centurion, what have you been up to, dude?
What's up, guys? Oh, not much, just living the dream, working way too damn much, trying to game when I can. And, like you guys were talking about, it's really hard to find a game right now that you can stick with because there's too many of them. But the one game that I seem to be hooked on right now, which is like crack to me for whatever reason, is Lies of P. I have not put this much time into a Soul-style game. I guess the furthest I have ever gone down the rabbit hole on that style of a game is playing the Jedi Survivor style games 1 and 2. But this time I was like, I'm going all the way. I want to try to beat one of these games, and I've been having a lot of fun. Sometimes I feel like I'm ready to put my head through a wall, but when you finally get past that boss and you didn't have to do some of the stuff people do on YouTube to show you how to cheat it, and you actually beat it legitimately, you actually feel kind of good about yourself. That's pretty much all I've been doing. How you guys doing?
Fair enough. And then, speaking of the guy with the manicured eyebrows and a big bushy beard, what's up, Bomber?
What's going on?
Hi. How are you?
Tired and exhausted after weeks and weeks of working and weeks and weeks of every weekend having something to do. Freaking sucks, but eventually it'll slow down, I think. Maybe?
No, not really, dude. I'm a lot older than you, and I've been an adult longer. It never slows down.
But no, just doing that stuff and then just trying to, fit in some gaming here and there when I can late at night. And that's just been pretty much Halo or Rocket League. And I've finally playing a little bit of Diablo because of the new season. But of course, I haven't touched, I decided to just play through the campaign again. So I haven't gotten to the Season of Blood yet, but yeah, it's that's about it right now. I mean, not nothing crazy. I wanted to do a lot more. Wanted to be able to play Spider-Man 2 and all the other things that have came out, but time/money just is not on my side right now.
And I have not, before Peniac asked, I have not gone back to Diablo. I haven't touched it. My wife did. My wife started playing it, I think, Saturday. And I was like, nope. I played Call of Duty. I think actually was scrubbed for a few matches.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we kept getting booted.
Yes.
That sounds about right.
I had the highest score out of both teams on Invasion. I mean, I was going to town, chopper gunners and everything, and then got kicked out right before the match end. Lost
Yeah,
all of it.
my Wilson, I think, had already taken out like 20-some people right before we got booted
That
out.
was ridiculous.
So yeah, but I've not gone back to Diablo 4. I'm fighting it with every ounce of my being. So, but there's too many other games to play right now, so I don't feel like I've lost anything. And welcome back to a guest that's not been with us in a while. And it's about time we got him back on here. A good friend of the show. What is up, Mr. Boomstick?
Gentlemen, thank you so much for the invites. It's been great. Had an amazing Sunday. Got to hang out with my nephew Tyler. They just left a little while ago. Hung out, reconnected with some family. Finished the battle pass for Halo Infinite Reckoning. Amazing. If you guys stepped away from it for a bit, you should definitely check it. I would dare say that it's probably some of the best shooting mechanics in gaming. I think it does laps around Call of Duty, and more importantly, I think that and I'm talking about 343 Industries, have finally with the last couple of seasons even surpassed Bungie. When it comes to a lot of people, yeah, absolutely. I haven't played Destiny in a minute. I'm not going to front, but Destiny, and Bungie were known for great shooting mechanics, and I think that 343 has perfected it. It is by far the best season. If I've finished every season pass to date. I'm actually saddened, but that I finished it so quickly. But in November, they're releasing the 8 remade Halo 3 maps, and I cannot wait. But great to be back, man. Thanks so much for the invite.
Dude, it's good to have you back. It's been a while.
Indeed, it has.
Been a very long while, but the road to recovery was long and tedious, and yeah, it was not fun, but we're here.
Yes.
And now for the panel, Pony Pumper. What's up, Piniac?
Yo, what's going on? Big week for me. Big week for me. Not only did Spider-Man 2 actually come out, it was also on my fantasy critic team along with Super Mario Brothers Wonder. So I had a very big Friday for fantasy video game purposes, which I know y'all care about so much.
Totally, dude. Yeah.
As much as the
video
console.
games.
I don't know. I
Fantasy.
was gonna say I'm ready to shut the show down and just talk about this the entire 2 hours.
Sure, let's do it.
But no, been sinking my time into Spider-Man 2.
Nice.
Good times. Pretty much everything I wanted. So I'm pretty happy right now. I'm about.
Let me guess. It was this weird guy running around in a red leotard, swinging on like webs and shit.
Well, yeah, more or less.
Okay.
But there was a part that happened, and I happened to be playing in the same room as my wife, and she was reading. But then she looked up at the screen while this part was happening, and she hit me, and she's like, "What the?
Were you
fuck
having
are you
sex with
playing?"
somebody on the game, sir?
Was he the one that put that thing up
No.
on Twitter where it was
That
like
69 glitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was he the one that put the 69 glitch on the Twitter?
I mean, we've all heard. I know most of us on the panel are like Gen X in our age, and some of us are a little bit younger. But I'm not. I'm Gen X. We've all heard that eating ass was a thing, but we didn't know they're going to include it in video games now, did we?
There you go.
Well, there you go.
No, I
And
didn't.
there
See
was
that.
some serious digging.
But yeah, other than that, it's
Doing the
good to
big
be,
ones thing.
It's good to be actively playing something again, because after I beat Baldur's Gate 3, I kind of just shut off for like 2 weeks in terms of seriously playing anything. So away we go. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're happy, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, because it
I
doesn't
mean, he
happen
doesn't
often.
sound happy.
I know, dude. I'm telling you, that amount of energy he's got is just killing me over here. I'm serious, man. I was
I'm
dragging
not-
ass till he started
Look.
doing his intro.
God damn.
Now I'm pumped up and ready to go, man. Hell yeah. Shit.
Look, if you want Ric Flair, late 80s hype man, it ain't me.
We know. Anyway, and now for our official drummer, what's up, Scrub?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's a good Sunday. Got my coffee here and ready to talk games. Be a little messy, but all in all, have fun. Of course, let's see. For this week, I've been kind of busy. Had me a couple of gigs, so I've played some music. That's always a good thing. My first love.
Absolutely.
And play some Call of Duty to shock, surprise anybody. That's what I've been doing.
Me too.
Halo 5 came out. And before I get to Halo 5, what I will say is, man, I'm missing the beta for Call of Duty. I never thought I'd say the way that you taking away your recoil in the guns. The guns have crappy sound. The hit detections are good, and the visuals aren't as great, but I'm really kind of excited for Modern Warfare 3 beta. So we'll see how that goes when it comes out. It is coming out soon. Couple more weeks. But I really need to get back into finishing the storyline for Phantom Liberty for Cyberpunk. Great game. Shooter mechanics aren't as good, but it's a great story. If any of you have not had a chance to play Cyberpunk, check it out. If you're interested in the DLC, I will tell you Phantom Liberty is definitely worth it. So please go check that out. But then, like Boom said, I will not argue with Boom. What are you saying? I mean, can it be sacrilegious to say that, Halo has better shooting mechanics than Call of Duty? Some would argue that, but I'm not going to argue. It feels very good. I don't know if it was just me, but just the movements of your Spartan seems faster to me than the others. Which kind of makes it akin kind of to Call of Duty. You don't feel sluggish with your Spartan trying to move around the map. The shooting is great. The new map modes that they've put in for the Fiesta is great. The fact, I know I complained years ago, when this game first came out with the multiplayer, there are so many good shooters with battle passes. Why did Halo have to make their own way, how to level up, how to get XP? You can only get XP by doing objectives. I was saying this is wrong. This is not the way to do it. You're going to wear people out. It's going to turn into a slugfest of like go fetch it things that you would have to do in RPGs. So the fact that now they have changed it, you can get XP, because maybe somebody like Boom will go through it, rush through it, and knock it out. Some people, they're playing multiple games right now. There's so many games to play. Who would have thought we would complain about too many games like 2 or 3 years ago? So many games to play, or just say, hey, I'm a dad or a mom and I've been real busy, kids, work life, whatever. So I only have a certain amount of time to be able to jump in a match, get some good XP, move up the battle pass without having to say, oh, let me have to spend more money just to get through this battle pass because I don't have the time. As someone else, I think it's phenomenal. I haven't had a chance to get through a battle pass as much as I wanted to. I'm like, I don't know, level 10 in the battle pass. So I don't have that much time into it. But if you are a person who loves Halo, who enjoys Halo, what it used to be and what it could be, and you hadn't played in a while, please go back and check it out. And just get the 1,000-point battle pass. If you want to skip and get those 15 skips, I don't like the mechanics of the way they get you. Oh, this is 2,200. Well, to get 2,000, you gotta spend what, $20. But then to get 500 more just to have enough for 2,200, that's another $5 or something like that. So I don't like those kind of mechanics, but it is what it is. It's just those mobile game mechanics on how we can get more money out of you. It's definitely worth it. Go check it out.
I agree. And I've only played a few minutes of the new Halo, and I do agree 100%. It does feel much better than what it did the last time I played it. But my only issue is I want more variety in the weapons. That's what keeps me going back to Call of Duty, and I hate to say that. Even though Call of Duty, speaking of battle passes, oh my God, if you have not looked at the battle pass lately on Call of Duty,
Spawn, baby.
Dude, it is like, what are the...
It's Fortnite. It's Fortnite mixed with Call of Duty. It's smart as hell.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Did we really have to have Lilith running around?
Freaking amazing.
For $40 bucks, sure, why not?
I ain't gonna lie, dude. It really threw me. I was playing a match yesterday morning, and I see some dude running around my screen with Lilith with an assault rifle, and I'm like,
It's funny.
that just doesn't look right.
No, it doesn't
Hey,
at all.
$69 billion doesn't pay for itself. All right.
And well, on top of that, then you've got Groot or whatever this weird looking creature is running around the map now with sniper
That's a
rifles.
cheat
And
code
I'm like, what the hell?
because you
But
can't
some of
see
this-
her in some of those maps.
That is
So-
true.
Call
I
of
think it'd
Duty's
be
been
fine
ripping
if-
off Fortnite before Microsoft bought them.
It's smart.
Well, yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it has nothing to do with Microsoft spending $69 billion.
That
That,
was a
like,
joke.
Yeah.
No,
That
I'm
was
just
a
saying,
joke.
okay,
That
I was
was
going
a
to say
joke.
Yeah, dude.
Activision ran out of good ideas years ago. That's why they started ripping off members of the community, like the
I
guy
think
who
it's-
built the dog costume.
I think you should welcome little skins though, because
Well,
does
yeah,
her
it's
horns counting in the hitbox? Because that's a big thing to hit.
No,
it's so
I'm not
weird.
against, I'm not against it. I just what's the best form of flattery? Emulation. That's why
Yeah,
that's how
I
trends are
guess.
started. Yeah, so I mean, like,
It's just so weird though, the prices they charge for some of their stuff, and
Oh, it's
then
Yeah.
everything's not
Sure.
included.
Nope.
I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Not everything's included in the battle pass now.
And it's funny because remember, like 2 years ago, when everyone lost their mind so bad about that Santa skin in Battlefield that they removed it because it
Yeah.
didn't fit with the game.
actually,
And now you've got fucking
It-
Lilith running around in Call of Duty, and
it seems
Yeah.
the skins
Skeletor.
that most people have issues with in Call of Duty are the ones that give you like a tactical advantage, like the all black skins. And I guess the one that everybody's a little mad at right now is the Groot skin because I
Yeah.
guess they have like a high camouflage effect to them.
They do.
Mhm.
Well, it's because every freaking map is dark. They don't have anything that's worthwhile that actually is like in real life look. It's just everything's dark and everything's super fast paced. So as long as you can somewhat look like you are a wall, you're gonna kill everything if you just stay still.
Don't worry, they're going back to their original roots this next
Oh yeah,
month.
they do with the beta.
But if
We-
you
we-
are a fan of comics and
Hold
if
up,
you
I'm
are a
gonna-
fan of Halloween, this is some of the best characters to get in the battle pass by using good old Al Simmons and Spawn.
I mean, I want
And,
Spawn, but good God,
yeah,
I don't
those
think I'm gonna be able to
characters-
unlock all that by the time it's over with.
Mil Spec Spawn, and they use the original voice. I forget the actor's name who does the voice of Spawn in the animated series. I don't know if any of you guys ever checked out the animated series of
Oh,
Spawn on
100%.
HBO
It's amazing.
way back in the day. Well, the guy who did Spawn's voice is the same one who does it for the video game. And it's just awesome hearing his voice while you're taking people out. It's pretty cool. But
That's dope.
I just want to bring it up. I did not detour away from Halo to Call of Duty. Somebody else brought up Call of Duty. It wasn't me this time. It wasn't me.
Mhm.
No, it was actually me because I think I climbed up like 28 levels since yesterday.
Noise.
Oh
So-
yeah, it's definitely
Yeah,
worth it.
you put the sniper rifle in my hand, dude. It's over at that point. So the old man can still shoot. That's basically what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
Pixel Bit G said, yeah, he's Keith
Davis.
Davis, the voice of Arbiter. Yeah, if you know the voice of Arbiter for Halo, it's the same guy who did Spawn, and he's acted in a million movies. He's a great actor. So
Oh yeah, I know who Keith is. Yeah, you don't see him in much anymore, but
Well, he's
I
getting
don't-
older. He's getting
Oh,
up
yeah.
there.
He's
That voice still
he's the
awesome,
new
though.
voice of Zavala in Destiny now that Lance Reddick passed.
well, I got to go with Boom on that one. I've not played Destiny in like ages, so it's been a very long time since I played Destiny. I got so bored with it, I just couldn't do it anymore. Actually, I think the last raid that me, Fork, Leo, and Bomber, I think you were in there with it, or was it Ghost?
It wasn't me. It was Ghost.
Yeah, dude,
Definitely was
it was
not
like it was like 4.5 hours, and we didn't get anywhere. I'm like, yeah, screw this game. I'm done with it.
Dude,
Yeah.
Destiny gave Bungie and Destiny gave themselves a reputation when they decided that the concept of removing paid content like expansions and trying to come up with some half-ass idea of like, oh, we're just sunsetting it to make room in the game. And I still to this day shake my head at that because I find it absolute BS because I play Elder Scrolls and I can go play that game on a fresh character from the original campaign to every expansion they've ever had, and there has not been 1 ounce of that game deleted. And I just think that's complete BS that Bungie is deleting stuff out of the game. Like Cade 6, one of the best characters in Bungie, is complete canon, and people don't even know who the hell he is anymore, unless you played Destiny from that era.
It is sad. I don't know why they were removing content though. You think more people would be vocal over it, wouldn't you?
Their biggest issue, from my point of view, is that they didn't have a separate sandbox for PvE and PvP. So they'd introduce a new PvE exotic, and it would break the PvP because it was ridiculously overpowered because someone put a decimal in the wrong place, and it worked fine in PvE and it was powerful, but then it would just wreck PvP for a month. And then they would fix something in PvP, and it would make some stuff shitty in PvE. And it's just make them separate. And then you can, obviously that's hard to do probably, but yeah, they have, yeah.
I still think there's a fundamental problem with the engine with Destiny, because I don't think they wanted to really tell anybody, but the reason why they were having a sunset or get rid of expansions was to shrink the size of the game. Because I've seen stuff that as the game gets bigger, the glitches become worse and worse and more prevalent in the game. And so they started removing stuff out of the game to control the size of the game, so that way the game wouldn't turn into a buggy, shitty mess.
Well, a lot of the problem with the reason why they were taking a lot of that stuff away is because nobody was in it anymore, because there was no point to it. There was no grinding in those areas. Nobody needed to do anything in those areas. So as the story progressed, whatever, they changed it up so you no longer need those areas for anything. So the raids were pointless because you wouldn't get the loot as you would in other things. So it made sense, but
I'm talking like campaign too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, campaign changed. They don't want you to. It was a ever evolving campaign, so that's why when you start out brand new, you don't start from the very beginning anymore like you used to. So
it was kind of funny
because they took all that crap out.
Kind of announced, they're like, "Oh, we have a 10-year plan." And everyone laughed at them, but it's like year 10 is next September.
Yep.
So.
very quick 10 years, kind of like a dog's life, right?
Yeah, so this
10 years in dog
still alive, very, very alive. But yeah, I haven't touched it in a long time. I get bored of the PvE stuff, and that's where a ton of the focus is. So it's just whatever.
Well, see, the PvE was not a problem for me, and when they first announced that it was an MMO, I got very excited, and then they completely failed on that. So it was just like, okay, and then they're like, oh no, it's not an MMO. I'm like, well, then why did you say it was going to be an MMO? Like literally from the Dead's Mouse. This is an MMO. This is not an MMO. Have you ever played an MMO? This is not an MMO.
I agree. But speaking of OMOs and emus and all that, let's do this. All right, gentlemen. Let's talk about bugs. Let's talk about glitches.
Well, every game has them.
I have said this a million times. I've said it several times over the years. There's not a game anymore that releases that doesn't have some type of glitch, bug, something. There's very few.
Impossible.
Not possible. You could write a 10-line game and there'd be a bug somewhere. Someone would find one.
Yeah. And here's the thing. They all have bugs and glitches. Me, as much as I love playing Starfield, my game glitched. I can't finish it.
I'm sure there were so
the main story mission glitched, and I can't complete the game. So when that glitched, I went back to like 20 save points earlier, and the game glitched even worse on me. So I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for a patch. I don't go on social media and whine and complain about it. It's a game.
Not? Come on.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a game. That's it. That's all it is. It doesn't ruin my life if I can't complete that game. But I will admit there is a double standard. Personally, I've not played Spider-Man 2. I probably won't till months from now, maybe sometime next year. It's just not on my radar. But there is a double standard. You kind of have to admit it, that if this would have been an Xbox game, all these companies and journalists would have been bitching and complaining about it.
100%.
They would have been complaining. It would have been all over IGN. Jesus Christ, IGN runs a different story about Starfield every day.
Yes.
And the other one, VGC, they've constantly got something. Game Rant's got something. Oh, we found a player today in Starfield. He goes, oh my God, this happened. Okay, I mean, it's going to happen with games. I don't care what game it is. I've not seen anybody talk about Spider-Man.
Oh, they've written articles about Spider-Man. It's just the articles are more along the lines or the synapse of, dude, the characters are so relatable because they're just so down to earth and realistic.
Well, personally, I don't
life changing. And
I don't know, dude.
They write these articles about Spider-Man and other Sony games like they are the second coming of the Messiah.
Well, yeah, I get that.
This game character made them go outside and reevaluate how they are going to just conduct the rest of their life. Oh, and by the way, Microsoft is shit.
I mean, I haven't seen any reviews that way, but hey.
No,
I have a lot of friends.
I'm not reading in the wrong,
and I know a lot of people, but I have yet to have a friend to go, hey, man, guess what? Let's go swing off some buildings downtown. Yeah, it's not really relatable to me.
Hold on, I've got one on my profile right now.
But, the thing is, there is a completely, and we know there is. I mean, Starfield is still getting shit on.
Yep.
And it's just like nobody is allowed to talk about Spider-Man.
Oh, if you do, you're a troll or a bot at minimum.
I think it's fine with everybody talking about all of them because I think they all have a
That's
lot
what exactly.
Here it is.
No, I think where Wilby's coming from, and he really has a fantastic finite point. Look, let's just call a spade here, folks. Okay, the bottom line is that there is an industry, both through the community and professionally, if you want to call it journalistic integrity, professionalism. But as many points that have been made of the glitches in Spider-Man, and it's at this point egregious. Now, I have had the worst for me. I'm 6 hours in. Just hit level 10 with Miles and Peter. I'm enjoying it. For me, it's an 8.5. It's an 8.5 out of 10. The swinging feels a lot worse than 2018 and Miles Morales. I feel like I'm sometimes swinging through tar. It's very, very dragging. I've hit quite a bit of invisible walls where I'll be going one way. For instance, like when you do those car chasing sequences, you got to be fast. You got to get to the car, and it almost feels like the game is fighting against me. I've had some character glitches in the air with both Peter and Miles. I haven't had it crash, thank goodness. I haven't lost any gameplay time. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun with it. I am going to say, though, getting back to the double standards, there is absolutely a double standard because it's hilarious to me that you take a place like IGN, and we all know that you can't spell ignorant without IGN. So let's just get this straight. Spider-Man, they praise it to high hell. Great, best one in the series, greatest graphics, the storytelling. My God, it's unbelievable. And you know something? Storytelling is pretty damn good. It's what Insomniac is good at. Those characters are damn relatable. I freaking love it. I'm really enjoying what they have to say. I'm invested in the story. But what's interesting, Wilmy and gang, is the fact that in the same time where people are like, hey, listen, there's some real problems here. Ever since the day one patch, I mean, even Digital Foundry's coming out and be like, yeah, this day one patch just destroyed the whole game. To deflect, IGN puts out a story, Elder Scrolls 6 exclusive to Xbox. Well, no shit. Well, you kind of knew that because you ran that same story, I don't know, 6 times since the initial posting. The same way GameSpot ran 23 tweets in consecutive days of how Starfield was a 7. Just to let you know, they don't want you to forget Starfield, it's a 7 and it's Xbox. So the whole thing is the premise that Xbox is shit no matter what they do versus Sony God tier no matter what they do. You don't have to take a dump right on the that dump that's a 10. it's pretty egregious.
And if Nintendo did it, it'd be a 15.
It might be an 19. Which, by the way, Mario Wonder, amazing. That's all.
I was going to say. I mean, so far Nintendo hasn't really missed on any of their releases. And if you want to talk about buggy games and stuff like that, at least they're making quality games.
But and why is that? Because they've been making the same game for 35 fucking years. But it's
not even the same game though. That's the thing.
But it is.
Okay, then Halo has been the same game for how many years, and they still screw it up.
It still ain't been 35.
I mean, I'm just saying, like it's the same thing. If you go with any series of games, you're going to screw it up because you're trying to do something different. But like the problem is that at least they bring out quality games. It's not broken games. You're not having to wait for a day one patch before you can actually play it. Like, I mean, I don't really play Nintendo games really at all. Like I don't, like not anymore like I used to back when I was younger, because I'm just not, those games are not my forte.
Well, most of us don't anymore.
But truthfully, at least they are bringing out quality games. And I know there's people out there like, oh, it's not quality. That stuff is not complex. I'm like, and your point? So you're telling me that a non-complex game with not great graphics means that it's just easy. It shouldn't be called quality. So what you're saying is Hi-Fi Rush should not be called a quality game, because I personally believe it's a very top quality game. It is way up there, has zero glitches, zero bugs, great gameplay, very simplistic, but great gameplay. I never had an issue out of it whatsoever. But you bring out these AAA, quadruple A, Bethesda and Insomniac, all these top rated first party games, and they got bugs galore. Redfall, huh? I'm just saying, like you can't tell me that Nintendo ain't
and
doing
why
their job,
and I'm agreeing with you, but you know why they do it?
It's because they know how to play they know
because
how to
they
game.
get fucking by with it because we're going to buy the damn game.
No, no. If it's just because people are buying the game, that's incorrect, because you would say that for PlayStation. Like everybody bought every PlayStation game. That's not true.
Well, no, I'm just saying they're AAA studios, like you said.
Yeah.
So they've got this reputation, and a lot of people will purchase the game and pre-order it.
Well, it's because they are continuing to make quality product, very similar to Sony. I mean, Sony sells games. I mean, we all know Spider-Man 100% is going to be the number one sold PlayStation game this year for sure. Which I know they don't have many this year, but even in the last couple of years, I think it's going to outsell Ragnarok easily. But Spider-Man is that IP. You know, that's there's a big difference between that. I mean, really, just Spider-Man sells regardless of who's attached to it.
Oh yeah.
Because even shit. I think what was it? When Nintendo had the exclusive rights to the Ultimate, what is that called? That shit.
Marvel
it was number
Ultimate?
3. It was number 3 in the series, and Nintendo had the exclusive on it. Ultimate Alliance. They had it, and guess who's in it? Spider-Man, and it sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, he's just he's world renowned, brother. He is the number one. Folks, think about this for a second, and this is where it gets crazy. If you think how smart Sony is, they locked up the most visually renowned character on the planet.
Yep, smart.
Like, of course it's smart. It's business, folks. At the end of the day,
like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, shit, if Microsoft started throwing Taylor Swift and some of their little things, everybody would buy Xboxes.
You mentioned her name. You mentioned her
she's
name.
making Sundays great again.
Her Call of Duty skin will go so nice next to Wilmie's Cardi B skin. It'd be amazing.
My God, I hate y'all right now.
Hey, so you're telling me you guys would not pay to see Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, and everybody thrown down in a battle royale?
No.
I'll actually see that in a heartbeat.
You know what? Yeah, I would.
Real life. Call of Duty.
I would if they're fighting Nickelback.
Let's do it.
Could you? I feel like some corporate stooge right now is sitting around taking notes. Like, dude, we could start getting all these freaking artists to just start having a battle royale game.
It's just celebrity deathmatch. That's all you need.
Bring
But
back
I want Ozzy. I want Ozzy. I want Alice Cooper.
Absolutely.
I want Marilyn Manson. And
Bring
I
all
can think
the
of a few
tops.
other artists.
Just bring.
I want them to come in and eat their brains
Bring them,
somewhere
and
in
then
the.
bring Michael Jackson and everything, and then bring Eminem, bring Dr. Dre, bring all the top artists all over.
Bring
and watch
Easy
them.
and watch everybody run.
Yes, and then,
Sorry.
Oh wow.
Does anybody remember Def Jam Vendetta?
Oh hell yeah!
Yes,
One
I
of
do.
the best
I was
fighting
gonna
games
say,
ever.
man, like I kind of wish they'd bring that stuff back.
Well, that's pretty much what we're talking about. But I will say, Celebrity Deathmatch would be a lot better because it's like Mortal Kombat mixed with.
Now, when
that.
you say Celebrity Deathmatch, would you want them to keep the claymation graphics, or would you
Absolutely,
want them to
because that's
update it?
nah. The claymation just makes it just.
Dude, Celebrity Deathmatch back in the day, I tried to watch that show as often as possible. That was good classic MTV right
It's
there.
on Paramount, dude. I watch it
'cause
still.
Oh, it's
will
on
say
Paramount?
They would probably
Yes.
wouldn't.
Yep.
I'm
you
gonna
know,
have to get a subscription just to see this.
Because
Okay,
we all
now
know it'd get canceled if it was too realistic, right?
Let's
Like,
get it
you're
on.
killing top celebrities. No, they would not allow that. Hollywood would not allow that.
oh my God, he's gonna get him with his 9-inch
I
nails.
mean, could you imagine having President Obama, President Trump, President freaking Biden in there, and you're killing them? Yeah.
Oh, dude, Biden would be funny. Come out on like a hover round or some shit. Forget where he's at.
He just come out of sleep.
He's just
Shit
asleep.
himself. Shit himself. You see the special services coming back, to get him.
And then to appease all the Canadians, would bring
Trudeau.
Trudeau in there, or whatever his name is.
JT in there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, baby. I'm
Well,
telling you. Then you
Wow,
gotta
we got
bring
really
World
sidetracked,
guys.
didn't we?
And you gotta
We
get
really
the
did.
Korean
Very
guy, you gotta
sidetracked.
get-
That went
Yeah,
off the rails.
Russian
Like I
Putin.
even forget what we were talking about. to be
Dude,
honest.
Celebrity
Well,
Deathmatch
well,
would be amazing.
well. Yeah.
We started off with
What?
talking glitches in Spider-Man. How did we
Yeah,
end
now
up
back
here?
to the glitches,
Back to
bitches.
glitches. Okay,
Yeah.
glitches.
Yeah.
Everybody on the Xbox side that's like just super like drains the gonads of the Xbox side is like trying to find every glitch ever possible. Same as the PlayStation guys to every freaking Forza or Starfield. It's like just back and forth. That's all it is. Just this back and forth thing that they're just trying their hardest to make sure that one game sucks worse than the other.
Oh, I
And
like
it's
the
not
article
fun.
that I read an article about like some of these. I've heard some of them are actually trying to trick glitches. Like one of them was, I guess in the photo mode you can move Spider-Man around.
You
I don't
can
know.
pose him in different, kind of like in Forbidden West.
Well, yeah, and I guess they're using the posing part to kind of like glitch him through NPCs walking around. So they're like trying to deliberately create false glitches or the idea that there's more glitches than there are. But that's why I didn't really get into the whole thing. Like, it is what it is. Gaming is a very difficult task. Like, I love how everybody's an armchair developer and that they seem to understand, like, the fundamentals of what it takes. Like when everybody was giving Redfall too much crap or Starfield or
They
Spider-Man.
deserved it.
See, that's the other thing. Like,
Redfall deserves the crap.
no, they don't really.
Oh yeah, they should never.
I
release it.
don't. Yeah.
I just
Maybe
think
with
that
the
ultimately
update, but
the
yeah.
double standard that is you got to understand we're all podcasters
Yeah.
here. We all have a lot of us do videos, a lot of us do our shows. So a lot of us are invested and we read a lot. I don't know about you. I work on my show 7 days a week. There isn't a day that I take off. I'm constantly and consistently reading article after article after article, the people in the community. And look, I mean, the bottom line is yes, gaming, you're 1,000% right. We shouldn't be armchair quarterbacks, especially when it comes to developing a game. I couldn't tell you how to write a line of code if my life depended on it. But with that said, there is something to be said about a double standard with the gaming community, which is social media, so I don't expect much, and that's fine. But it's the publications, the journalists
Oh yeah.
that will go out of their way to crush and grind anything that is Xbox, and you see
the
you
protection
see
of
it.
certain IPs. It's beyond that. Like we saw it happen with Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor launched in a complete shit state. As a matter of fact,
hates that game. Oh, man.
dude, the bounty. Did you play Jedi Survivor? Boom.
Yes, I did. I stopped
So
it
the
because
bounty-
I
the
kept
bounty hunter
losing
missions?
hours worth of play because there was no traditional save, and I kept
Right.
losing and losing saves. I said, you know what? I'm going to come back to this. I haven't come back yet.
So did the bounty hunter missions where you have to go and do the bounty missions and collect the
Yes.
pucks?
Yes.
That was completely broken for me. I was able to play the entire game from start to finish and
Wow.
not play one bounty hunter mission because the character was broken. She wouldn't give the bounty missions, they wouldn't unlock. And they finally patched the game about a month after I beat it. And I was able, and that's when I was like, you know what, I'm at least going to go play it. And I'm glad I did, because you got to see a certain character that you had no idea that was in the game from the original Star Wars movies. Being it's a bounty hunter thing, you probably could guess who that character was.
Of course.
But that you didn't realize he was in the game until you got towards the end of all of it, and you're like, holy cow, this dude's in the game all of a sudden. But the game, it was so broken. What it was is when you defeated somebody, you were supposed to collect the puck off of them. Well, they got rid of that to where the minute you defeat them, you automatically get the puck, because people were saying like they couldn't find the puck and stuff like that. It was just broken, and not one publication talked about how the game was actually broke.
What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck? But yeah, I was kind of shocked. Like, it was like everybody was protecting the concept of the sacredness of Star Wars. I love Star Wars just as much.
No.
But for me, it's more like, if it's a turd, it's a turd. If it's broke, it's broke. Don't get up in your feelings and be like, I really love Star Wars and I don't want to let anybody know the game is broke. The game is broke.
Yeah. Well, what I'll say about all this stuff, I will preface what I'm about to say is one of my top favorite games of all time is Cyberpunk 2077. So we already know how much of a glitch fest that was, depending on what console, PC, whatever you were playing on. Yeah.
But now, see, the weird part of that, I played it on release on my Series X. I've never had any issues, except one time, my console, for some reason, it wouldn't show my menu. So I had to shut the game down and start back over. And other than that, I didn't have any issues with Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm. I had One X. It was horrible. It crashed on me. One time it shut my whole Xbox off. Other times it dropped me to the main screen, or I went all the way to my home screen on my Xbox. So I'm prefacing what I'm saying in this. I'm glad games like that had the opportunity to get better, but it shouldn't have to get to that point. But
exactly, it shouldn't be a year down the road after release.
Yeah. Or some of the things that I see on Twitter that piss me off. Number one, the folks who go on, well, I played it from start to finish. Not saying you will me, but you know what I mean. And I never had a glitch. All you guys over here saying the game glitches, you're lying. It's not glitching. Everybody does not have the same problems when they play a video game.
That's what I said this morning. It doesn't happen to everybody on every game.
I've never really had any problems with Starfield. Wilmy lost a whole bunch of crap. So, other folks have seen weird stuff. So to say people didn't get the glitches, or to say you're lying about the glitches just because of a console war, that's not true.
Now, people like me on God of War,
games. Right?
Ragnarok, every one of my saves corrupted. Mm-hmm. I could not reload any save point on my PS5 at all.
Happened with Outriders and other Xbox games. Pusher. Come on.
I was like, yep, that's the end of that. I'll never play that one again.
Number two, with the people all right, if we're going to go, you talk crap about Starfield. So I'm going to point out everything wrong with Spider-Man and PlayStation. This will be a never-ending saga, and it's just annoying as hell. Because all you're going to do is the next Xbox game, review bomb. The next PlayStation game, review bomb. Whether the game's great or not, and it's so transparent how bad people look.
And what they don't understand, we all get it. We understand that people review bomb games. The bad part, what some of these jackasses don't realize is these companies, the developers, and some of the publishers don't keep up with all this. They just look at those review scores, and somebody may not get a bonus because of that. Or a department may lose their job because of that.
Dude, have you heard about the problem? I mean, the stupid situation with Gollum right now? The game that everybody is like really disappointed
that
with.
Nobody plays.
Well, I heard it was the worst game until this King Kong game.
Another game that shouldn't have came out.
But that's the other thing. Like you try to compare. That's why you say like Redfall. Like Redfall was not a dumpster fire. You can say what you want, but if you want to
was a
see
dumpster
dumpster fires of a dumpster fire,
Mm.
just because it didn't fit your narrative for Call of Duty and what a shooter should be, I'm never going to fault a developer for ever thinking outside the box, because the minute you do that, you get canned bullshit like trying to turn Call of Duty into Fortnite. And that's where that people should be allowed to experiment and have an imagination. But when you do money grabs like Gollum, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is so Gollum is actually considered the second worst game of this year. And people are trying to say it's the new King Kong game that came out that not too many people are aware of that even came out. And apparently it's so trash. Like some of the CG or like the cinema, like whatever, the events or whatever, they're like stop motion. It's really hilarious to watch. It was horrible. But apparently people are so desperate to make sure that Gollum is considered the worst game of 2023. They have started going on to Metacritic and giving the King Kong game like 9s and 10s
Yeah, I
just to
saw
try
it.
to
They're like
float its score.
anti-review bombing it, right?
And
Like,
I'm just like, really? Are we
wow,
this
really?
petty now? We got to make sure that King Kong rises above Gollum.
Yes, that's what
I think
happens.
what they're saying, what they're doing is showing you that Metacritic means nothing. Literally means
Exactly.
nothing.
But yeah,
I
and
think
see,
that's
to a
Yeah.
lot of us, it doesn't. But to, like I said, these
Yeah.
shareholders and stuff, how do they know?
and, that,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
that's
the other
like-
problem. If any company, and I don't care if it is
For
Microsoft,
starters, none of
Sony,
these-
anything.
none
If
of
they
these
are
companies
literally
should be
going,
paying
if this
attention
game
to
doesn't hit a
news
90
reviews.
Metacritic, nobody gets a bonus. Suck it. I hope y'all
That's gonna
freaking
be most
And
games.
did you know video games is the only
grace.
industry?
That's all I'll say.
Could you name another industry that literally says you need to have a review score of 90 or above to get a bonus?
Exactly. If a movie did that, that'd be it.
I don't
We
know.
wouldn't
I
have
have zero
movies.
knowledge about how any of that works. So
We'd have
maybe it
zero.
happens.
Well,
No, actually it happened to Obsidian. When they did Fallout New Vegas, the reason why everybody says 90 is because the rule was for Obsidian that they had to score a 90 or above to get a bonus. You know what their score was? 89. They missed it by that much. And yeah, they got basically canned out of a bonus because one of the stipulations in their contract
That means they
was
are
for it to hit
stupid.
90 or above.
That's a terrible company. It would never work for.
And
that's
that'll bring
the
me
kind of
to
that's the kind of stuff that's just stupid. I'm sorry. That
Yeah.
is just completely it.
That's why
ignorant.
when you think that's why when people say we want another Fallout New Vegas, obviously Obsidian would like to do it, but for a while Fallout New Vegas like left a bad taste in their mouth because they just felt a certain way over the fact that they lost out on a lot of money over a stupid aggregate score.
hmm
Exactly. It's just stupid.
Well,
that a
that's why I
company
think
would
it's a
ever rate it from that.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs with these glitches and these day one patches, especially with Spider-Man now. To me, it blows my mind that you put a day one patch, and for some people say the game is worse now with a day one patch. A day one patch is to fix problems, not to make it even worse. So it just brings you back to cartridges. When you had cartridges and the games
still
came out
cartridges.
either perfect
Nintendo.
or
I mean,
or it
Mario
had one
Wonder
or
is
two
literally
problems.
perfect.
See?
Yeah, and it's
Now-
you have these companies who are looking for share prices, who are keeping these shareholders happy with how much money they're going to make this quarter, and we push out games too fast. We get hype in these games. So it's on both ends. You got the companies, the shareholders who want to push stuff out to get the money, whether it's ready or not. Sometimes it's a situation where the devs either don't want to put in something or not, because it's either going to put in more work and more time, or it's going to pull them away from a certain mechanic. But then you have the fans of the games who will sit there and hype up a game that they know nothing about, but in their head they have built this canon about this game is going to be this, it's going to have that, and then it's going to be awesome when I play it. And then when it's not exactly what they want, it makes it even worse. But if there's a way that we could do better quality control, hire more people with quality control. Why don't we hire people who QC games that are not contract workers, who are a part of the studios, who work for the studio, and they're just not some person that you pull off the street and you let them work on it for 6 weeks and then they know they're going to get fired after 6 weeks of doing it. Or like I've said before, with Microsoft, with all these studios, 1 or 2 people walking around every studio will never find out all the glitches because they're going to get the slice that's going to be the most perfect thing. But in a lot of companies, what they will have quality control people who work for that company, and they will go to every site or every building and go through that whole shop, that whole building, and QC that stuff. They're not part of that that one small company, that one small game dev do QC, because anytime you show off something that's your baby, that's something you love, if there's a problem, you're sometimes people, because it's human nature, you will overlook it and push it out, even though you know it's a problem. But if you have somebody come in there, grab those sticks and play the game and go, what's wrong with this? This is not right. Why would the game do this, do that? I think we would have better quality control on these games. Would it cost more money to hire people to do that? Yes, but you're losing more money when you're getting this bad press. Folks are not buying your game. And like Sent said, or sometime when you add this, have to have a perfect score for this or that, you end up not reaching it because of list of 1,500 things that could have been done to make the game better.
For me, the big solution to fixing the quality of game releases is the United States is one of the biggest economies for making revenue in the gaming industry. And the United States also has one of the most screwed up policies for what they considered copyrighted material when it comes to music, television, and video games, where there's like little to no consumer protections afforded to the person buying the end product. Like it's kind of messed up by a game publisher's standard. When you buy a video game, whether it's digital or physical, you are essentially being given a license to play this game. You don't really own the game. And because of that, they're allowed to freely do whatever they want with it. And then also, you have no recourse in returning the game if it's a buggy or crappy mess. Where in countries like New Zealand and Australia, if a game comes out a buggy mess, you can take that thing straight back to Walmart, or you can ask for a refund on any digital market and get your money back, because the consumer protections in those countries are more towards the consumer than they are the company. And I feel like that's where it needs to start, is they need to start cracking down on the consumer protection side of it here in the United States, where if we feel a game has been released in a trash state and it does not meet our standards, we should be allowed to demand a refund without a company telling us, no, you played the game for an hour. No, you downloaded it. That don't matter. How do I not know the game works without playing it for 2 or 3 hours, and I find out that there's a huge bug in it that I can't get past or what have you, and I should be allowed to return that game? Because it's this simple. Like, if you go buy a t-shirt at Target tonight and next week that shirt has a hole in it, you could take that thing back to Target because it's still within the 30-day return window. That's where, it's kind of screwed up that these game companies are basically afforded protections that the minute they have your money, it's extremely difficult for you to get your money back, even if that game is a broken mess.
Well, Sony won't give you the money back. They'll shut down your account if you want.
Well, no, that's because they take full advantage of what the protections they're given. The protections they're given by the United States. That's where, if they are, but in New Zealand, it's totally different. They are required to give refunds on a certain level in different countries, and that's why a lot of companies that do stuff like in video games really love the American market, because the minute they have your money, you actually have a very small window to get your money back. Very small.
Okay.
Look, at the end of the day, just, wait. Maybe people should just wait more. See, I don't care because I buy a lot of stuff anyway, and I just play through it. And if the game needs to be like for Jedi Survivor is a perfect example. That game was a buggy mess, and I bought the highest edition like I always do. Was I disappointed? Sure. But I'm going to get back to it. And when I get back to it, it's right now, supposedly it's playing the best it's ever played. So that's fine.
Right.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I think I mean, this was a really around the world conversation. I loved it. But ultimately, Spider-Man has bugs. I just saw Ham Solo, good friend of the community. He was swinging in the air, and he went up 60 levels. He said this. He literally just posted it. You just saw the bar just, and you hit level 60, and all he was doing was swinging. That was it. He didn't try to break the game. See, that's the thing that's going on with this community. That's going on with the media. It's gross. It's like, oh, people are trying to break the game. Listen, maybe some people are, but some of these bugs that are happening, people are just playing the game. Like I said, I haven't tried to break the game, and the bugs that I've come across keep me. Like I said, I feel like it's a slog. And supposedly the best part of the game is the traversal because they have the wingsuits, and the wingsuit is dope. But do you know how many invisible walls I have hit where I feel like hitting like a bird in a piece of glass, and you just stop, and I'm like, what happened? Or I swing back the other way, and I'm like, what? I'm chasing the car. I'm trying again. I just meant to finish that point when I talked about it. You know, those car chasing scenes, and they happen a lot. I mean, a lot of the the crimes that pop up, they're very samey. I mean, like I said, in 6 hours, I think I've taken 7 people to the hospital. I've put out fires on buildings 4 times. I've put fires out on tankers 6 times. It's really like a rinse and repeat thing. Now, granted, I'm having fun. I'm only 6 hours in. I just hit level 10. I'm enjoying it. The story is progressing really nice. Like I said, the writing is phenomenal. The acting is phenomenal. The character models, they're really, really good. But let's not just put our heads in the sand and forget that these bugs are not there. See, that's what I think is annoying, because you had publications going out of their way to tell you that Starfield's a buggy mess. We've seen it. You've seen the article after article.
Well,
and to go along with you, Boom,
Game Studios.
What about that guy? What about that one story that IGN, I think they ran, that some guy spent 45 minutes trying to walk one direction on Starfield, and they kept running that story for a while.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was kind of funny. And is that not in trying to break a game?
Yes.
Or is that just trying to find boundaries?
I think that's funny.
The one I loved is when somebody set their ship on a direction to try to force the ship into the planet. I think it was Pluto, and they literally left the game running with the throttle all the way up on the ship, and they went to bed just to wake up to see if by some chance the ship would crash into the planet without having to go through the loading screen of landing. So
yeah, I mean,
I mean, like you did, like to me, I'm just like, so you're deliberately trying to create a problem.
That's what we're saying. There's more. It's just a two-way. I mean, it's just.
What happened when glitches were funny? Like, I mean, like the one glitch I loved seeing about Spider-Man 2 that made me chuckle, that I thought was funny as hell. That wasn't the 69 one. It was the guy that was swinging through, and his character glitched into the inside of a box truck.
Yeah.
And now Spider-Man is trapped on the inside of a box truck, and they at least detailed the inside of the box truck, because there's like a floor to it and walls, but there's no way to open the doors.
And Pixel, thank you for the $2 super chat. What about people crying about encumbrance? That's one dude everybody cries about in every RPG. That's no joke. I think that's every RPG that's ever been created.
Part of it.
Overweight.
Yeah.
So annoying in Baldur's Gate 3, especially I was using a character that's not particularly strong. So
you can't
it was
carry everything.
annoying. Yeah, you got to learn not to hoard.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Encumbrance? Dude, like in Lies of P right now, the minute you go over, I think it's like 50 or 60% of your weight capacity, you actually get a negative status effect, which starts affecting stamina regeneration.
Which you should.
Stuff. And the minute you are maxed out, your character is like a slog. And so you're telling me people are getting mad over encumbrance?
Yep.
It's
I see a lot of people say that.
I've heard it all now.
It's
No, I've seen people say that though.
I can't carry 18,000 pounds worth of stuff. How dare you? Damn it, this game sucks.
Well, I've always joked like Laura Croft in Tomb Raider. Where's she carrying all these fucking weapons at? The girl hardly wears any clothes.
Dude, that's what I was even like thinking about that. I was like, remember games back in the day? You have like an arsenal of 15 different weapons on a wheel, and you could just pick what you want. And where are these all stored at?
Yeah, where did she stick that AK-47 at before she pulled it out?
Interesting.
I mean, it's to me it makes sense for if you want a game to be somewhat realistic.
Look at the end of the day, it is a video game. I say enjoy it, don't enjoy it. If you bought it, return it. If you're not wait for a patch. At the end of the day, like I said, there is an industry double standard. It's very frustrating to see, but you know what? Like ultimately, the gaming media who has shunned Microsoft, who has shunned Xbox, have gone out of their way to really drive the point home that they suck. They're in a position where they're gonna eventually have to return to the days of the Xbox 360 because Microsoft is going to be hitting on so many cylinders and they're going to be putting out so many AAA bombs. I mean, I as many times as we've talked about it, Sony's roadmap is basically like a fog. No one knows what's going on. They're leaderless. They've had one
Wolverine,
of the worst,
and that's what it is.
Yeah, well, they've had one of the worst years in their history. 2023, if you were to really sit down and kind of just pen what has happened to Sony or SIE in 2023, they're probably their worst year ever.
I want to see the articles.
You're just talking output, right? Like first party output.
Yeah, it's awful. One game is not enough. I'm sorry.
So,
I'm not saying that, but for you to say it's their worst year in ever, I mean, no.
I mean, okay. I mean,
from a company that's in a business to make money, no, it's not.
No, yeah, but see,
if you're talking about first party output, yes, I agree. It's pretty bad.
No, I'm not even, dude. I'm not even just talking about first party output. I mean, I can go into Microsoft Word and pull it up. I mean, they've had some horrendous things happen this year. They released They spent millions and millions of dollars on PlayStation VR 2.0. It's sitting on shelves. No one's buying it. They have another peripheral coming out that no one is going to buy. They lost their leader, which is guys gone, witness protection. I mean, in the same year that they have Xbox putting all of these big bombs into their service, they raised their service by $40, and they're giving you nothing on the back end. Their service already sucked at 120. Now they want to charge you 160. Dude, I can keep going, and it's not me being a bot. This is a fact. Sony has taken a dump the whole year, and it's not getting any better. They stay away from gaming shows for 2 years, 2 full 24 months worth of we're too good for gaming, and they come back and they give you that June show that was garbage, and then they come back with the super secret show that all of the pundits from Sony said were coming, and they give you Soap Stars, and they give you a ripoff of the robbery game. Sony they are directionless. They are in a tailspin. And listen, Spider-Man, it's going to sell like 10 million copies by the end of the year because it's Spider-Man. But that's not going to save them, dude. Sony's in a pickle. And again, let's look at what they did with the you want to add some more? You want to add a cherry to this shit Sunday for Sony? What about what they did with their announcement of the new PlayStation Slims? They give you a paperclip stand that's literally looks like a paperclip to hold up your $500 box. And on the back end say, hey, listen, if you want to stand it vertically or erect, if you like, you have to spend $30 more. Dude, they are the epitome of raking the players and the consumers over the coals. And I mean, like I said, that's their 2023. It's awful.
Rape, really?
So I'm with Boom on that, because that's where I just want to say that's why I brought up the whole article thing earlier, was IGN with the PlayStation proves why they're the king of storytelling with their amazing writing and just how great it is. And I hope to God they keep that same energy when they start getting their games as a service games. Are we going to start seeing IGN be like, dude, this fundamentally has just changed the way I feel about games as a service. I can't get enough of it. When we like, dude, games as a service on the way out. They have spent millions of dollars on at least 10 games as a service games. Now, I don't see all 10 coming to fruition, but the point is that's money spent and it's going to be money wasted. And you're probably going to get half of those games if you're lucky. And they are probably not going to hit the mark like Sony wanted because the ship has sailed as games as a service. So that means you have millions of dollars wasted and years of developers' times wasted when they could have been focusing on story-driven entertainment, which is what keeps PlayStation going. So that means nobody wants to think about it, but y'all got a drought coming on Sony's side, and you can't see it, but it's going to happen. There is a drought coming. Just like the housing market had a bubble that nobody wanted to expect. Oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Well, the bubble popped. Just like a drought is coming on the PlayStation side because they have focused way too much time and money on games as a service. And the only thing you have right now is Wolverine.
I mean, listen, it's going to be a good game, but you got to understand, Jim Ryan was in a position of power for 4 years, right? At his 18th month mark, you remember that big interview, guys, where he said, unfortunately, the PlayStation players aren't enough, meaning that they're not buying their games. 10% of the Sony populace buy their first-party games. If you want to get crazy, you want to be generous and double it up and say 20% of the PlayStation populace bought their games. It's just not enough. It just isn't, because they have budgets for these first party games that exceed $200 million. And that is just on the game design manufacturing. That's not the back end of the advertising. And like I said, you can add another $150 million to that. So a game for them is a $350 million investment, and they're selling 10 million copies of that game. It's unsustainable for Sony, which is why they jumped in on the gas game thing. And here's the problem. The problem is exactly what Centurion just said. Jim Ryan was in position of power for 4 years. At his 18th month mark, he said it's not enough. So he started to turn the ship to say, we need to do what Microsoft is doing with their gas games, with Fallout 76, with Sea of Thieves, with Grounded, with Diablo now, with Call of Duty now. They're going to have money coming in left, right, and center. Now Jim is gone. He's fired. He can say he left all he wants. That dude was fired because SIE didn't have a replacement. Sony proper took over the business. That tells you that they were not happy with his direction. Now they have to turn that ship. And we started hearing right after Jim went away that, man, a lot of people in the studios were not happy with his direction because they changed them from storytelling companies and developers into gas game manufacturers. And now that's why we don't have a roadmap. That's why 2023 has only Spider-Man, which again, 8.5 for me. Good game. I'm enjoying it. But next year is potentially another barren year for Sony. And they have to turn that ship around. And you know what? The one gas game that could have actually saved this whole thing for them was canceled by Bungie. Yeah, Factions. That was the one that they've been in development for well over 2 years.
That's and a that weird way canceled. To say home stars. I'm kidding. Fuck.
No, I mean it's I mean, think about that for a second, guys. The one IP that logistically could have saved the day. Everyone would have been playing Factions. Hell, I would have even played Factions, and I hated The Last of Us 2, but I would have played Factions because the first Factions was phenomenal, right? And that's been canceled, and that wasn't even canceled by SIE. To be honest, it was canceled by Bungie.
I think another problem too is, I think during COVID, and I said it. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Bomber and Scrub remembers. We had this conversation several times during COVID. That after COVID went away, that people would not be buying and playing games like they were during the pandemic.
The bubble.
And I think a lot of funding got cut. and they were, I mean, they had money coming in from people that never played video games ever. I've got friends and, you know, family members that were calling me up, you know, or texting me going, "Hey, what are you playing? What consoles do you have? What are you playing on PC?" That they've never played video games because they were stuck in the house. You know,
With
they
the
were
check.
playing video games. Yeah.
They got a check to go buy a game if they want it.
Yeah. So they were, you know, buying consoles and buying video games. Now people are back outdoors. People are living life again. People are taking cruises, you know, they're going overseas. And now a lot of those spontaneous players have gone away too.
Yeah, well, because now they're free. The shackles have been removed, and they can actually touch grass, so to speak. So which is great because everyone was stuck inside, and that's how video games became so popular, and they made so much money because we couldn't go anywhere. We were all stuck.
Well, not all of us.
Well, I mean, you were out there, and obviously, but
yeah,
listen,
not everybody. It depends on what city you lived in.
Well, New York City was definitely stuck in a box.
Well, yeah, you're in New York, dude. That's a lot different from where I live.
But listen,
because
gentlemen, unfortunately, I got to run because I had family over right until the show started, and I got to help Mrs. Boom clean up. I want to say that this was an awesome way to end the evening. What a great day for me personally. Guys, enjoy the rest of the show. Again, thank you so much for the invite, brother. I got to get you back on Breakfast with Boom one of these upcoming Fridays. Enjoy the rest of the show, gentlemen.
All right, Boom. Thanks for joining us, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care, guys.
Good one, man.
But yep, I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why a lot of these games are disappearing all of a sudden too. Their plans.
Yeah, there's no way 10 games as a service is ever going to make it. And even if
I
they
don't want you to
the
think
person who backed it is gone. So
no, I at least want to say I don't want people to think that I think all 10 of those games are going to come out. I'm thinking that you'll get half if you're lucky.
Yes, if you're lucky. And even then, look at Foam Stars. And if Foam Stars doesn't get what they think on the backside that they want, it's going to be a track for the rest of the games because they're going to look at Foam Stars and they're going to say, do we really need to do this? Or if Foam Stars is good enough that hit all their metrics, they'll move on to the next game as a service.
I don't see.
Hang on, wait.
Stars.
I'm going to rub my crystal ball here. Foam Stars is going to come out and Square Enix is going to say it failed to meet our lofty expectations.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that, Peniac. You know that's what's going to happen, dude.
You
know
it's
going to happen.
Thing that a lot of people that are like these whole games as service, like we said, they're making some of their internal studios that are known for creating story-based content, really good story-based content, into making games as a service. And that's why I think it's so ironic that everybody wants to bring up Redfall all the time. And I mean, like, what happened there with Redfall? You took a developer that really made really good story-based content and put them in a situation where they had to develop games as a service. So now you're going to have possibly the same situations popping up with Sony first-party studios that have been shoehorned into doing games as a service that have no idea about the mechanics or the biology of creating a game hook to get somebody that wants to keep playing that game and making sure that the rewards drop right and that the whole XP grind. There's a whole different sector of game development when it comes to creating a games as a service style game that actually works. And we're already seeing that, you know, companies like Ubisoft that have really tried their damnedest try to get this in, and we all know that they're screwing that up because all of their games as a service style games are falling flat on their face. Skull and Bones is a game that needs to be canceled and won't die.
Ubisoft, they just shelved like XDefiant for X amount of
indefinitely.
I think is the term they used, right?
Yes.
Nobody was looking forward to that, really. So
no,
did anybody play the beta?
Yes, it was awful. It was the worst.
I mean,
probably one of the worst games I played.
It was pretty bad, dude. I played.
I couldn't even stay in the beta because it kept kicking me.
Yeah.
Another game that's games as a service. The guy's trying to do the Suicide Squad. That's why I'm like, dude, you can't like. It's like for whatever
I
reason.
hope they somehow turn that into a single player game.
I do too, but it's just weird
It's
that
not really a games as a service
I
game.
know,
It's just a
but they're
multiplayer
trying to
game.
design it around games as a service. That's what, because they wanted it to be
Yeah.
like another, go keep playing and get new loot kind of thing. That the minute you start involving loot drops, you're really skirting games as a service style stuff, and that's where, I mean, it's like for whatever reason, publishers just see dollar signs because they're like, well, look what Fortnite did, dude. That ship has sailed. Like, dude, Fortnite just laid off Epic Games just laid off 16% of its workforce because Fortnite it peaked because of COVID. And I don't really think that they're ever going to see those numbers again.
Tim
And-
Sweeney has a huge boner against Apple, so it's not even on iOS right now. So that's kind of a revenue stream that they're not getting anymore.
Yeah,
but
that's
that's
hurting them too.
self-inflicted. So I mean, whatever.
But all I'm trying to get at is like
But
the
yeah.
writing is on the wall. You can see multiple developers. It doesn't matter if it's first party, third party, or your favorite freaking brand. You can see that developers all across the industry are hitting this brick wall when it comes to games as a service because honestly, it's tapped out. Like people are over it. Like Wilmy said, the people that were forced to stay home during COVID have gone back to their normal lives to, now that it's over. And let's just say it, those who are fans of games, that are hardcore fans of games, they didn't want games as a service since day freaking one.
Yeah.
I'll give you another good
to me,
example.
talk
right.
to me
I mean,
about freaking Diablo.
But like, I mean,
that's what I was
God.
going to say, Bomber. Let's talk about Diablo because, Bomber and I both have a lot of time into Diablo 4. And after, I quit playing it, I think they made the comments here. I don't know if I will go back because I got so bored with that first season. I really don't have the desire now. And plus, there's other games coming. I mean, Alan Wake's coming out in a couple of days.
but you can get a new Arian
And-
that has 4 more power
And why do I need to create a new character?
from
each
scratch,
season.
right? Jesus, what?
And
like,
that's
see,
why-
okay.
they
That's,
must
but see,
expect
that's
you to
but
just
that's
grind
not
your
a
ass off.
that's not a Diablo 4 thing. So like that's the biggest thing that a lot of people always go, oh, that was all Diablo 4. I can't believe they did that. Like, no, that
No, it
came
wasn't.
through as Diablo 3 did it with all
Yeah.
their seasons, and there's nothing wrong with it. The problem, and this is definitely the problem overall, is the fact that one, it takes too long to level.
It does.
Now with Season of Blood, it definitely has gotten better with XP gains, but is that going to exist throughout the the regular realm, the Eternal realm? We don't know that yet. So the problem is, once you're done with that seasonal character, what are you going to do with it? And I think that's what the problem is. Then on top of that, which is what I've always been pissed off about, is that this is a looter. One of the biggest looters you could possibly have in all of gaming, and you took all the best looking loot possible, and it's all behind a paywall.
Paywall.
You can't
And
look
not only
awesome
that,
without paying for it, and that's
I've
what's
got a
stupid.
couple of friends of mine that have gone back and played the new season. And from what I'm being told, which I've not played it yet, is that the loot is the same. They just changed the stats. And if you've played a lot of Diablo 4 like me and Bomber, you realize real quick those stats and some of the numbers on this shit don't mean anything, as it really doesn't do anything.
Nope, there's
I mean,
too
it
much
does
filler.
zero. Yeah, it's way too much bloat,
Oh yeah,
and it does nothing. And you may get the same sword 38 times, and each time you get it's a little higher rank. But and like Bomber also said, everything that's really good is hidden. You can't even get it in the battle pass. You have to buy it separately. So it's like, why go back?
Plus, they don't give you enough coin to get the new battle pass every season. That's the other problem that I have. Like,
Because it
you're
was
the
so
only-
short.
Fortnite
You're
does
literally-
that,
you're
and
literally
I-
the
and
only-
when I played Fortnite for a bit at a time in spurts, I appreciated that. You buy the battle pass, you played enough, you would earn enough coins to be
Yes.
able to buy the battle pass again the next time it came out.
and
that
you
was cool.
can't do that with Diablo, and that's what's stupid. You were the only game that has a freaking battle pass. You cannot earn enough to get the next battle pass. Like even Halo lets you earn the next battle pass. I mean, shoot, Halo does it better because you can play any of the battle passes you want to. It never
Yeah.
goes away, so you never
Yeah,
miss
and
any
that's the
content.
best thing.
And I think that's probably the best one that's out there that does it. So I mean, it's crazy to see these top companies. You know, I understand the whole. We all know what it is. It's money. Money talks, and that's the whole concept around it. We get it. Problem is that it's like you took my favorite game of all time and you've kind of watered it down. Like, as much as you want to say, you know, it does play great. Don't get me wrong. Probably one of the best playing Diablos I've ever had, but it also.
I would rather go back and play part 2 now, to be
No,
honest.
I'd rather go back to 3.
Well, yeah, that too.
That's the thing, or 2 for sure. Like either one, I'd go back to Resurrected. Why not? Like, give me a little bit more of a challenge. But like, the problem that I have with these current companies, and that could have been why factions didn't work out. You know, because Bungie was like, you don't have enough stuff in there to keep people buying it, and you don't have too many characters. You don't have enough characters for this to be something that you can make your own and make a lot of money off of and keep it for years. So let's can it, whatever. I don't know what the whole purpose was or why it isn't coming out, but I really don't care. I wasn't ever going to play it anyway, but it's just like the funny part is these companies just are wanting to get money, and they're trying to just like throw something over your eyes to feel like you're getting something special, just like Halo did when they first came out. Ooh, we got all these plans, 10 years, and this is going to be the best game, and campaign's going to be amazing. And then, they're not doing anything for campaign. They're not even going to touch it at all. What you got is what you got. And then now multiplayer, thank God, they have definitely, completely did a, I guess 180, as I should say. I shouldn't say 360, but, did a 180 and completely turned things around and made it, tons of content, tons of stuff you can unlock, more customization options, so stuff that actually makes you want to keep playing the game. So, I mean, at least they're doing it right, but too many companies are doing it wrong, and that's where I think the sustainability is the problem. Diablo may die, Diablo 4, they may close the doors on it if, not enough people are playing it and paying for the battle pass. They're going to stop bringing stuff out for it.
Instead of coming up with new games, they should just try to cut deals with these, like,
I want to
massive on too big to fail. Like, cut a deal with Roblox to have some fucking skins in there. If
because we've been on this topic.
That's true.
We've been on this topic for a while. There's one other thing I want to talk about before we end this show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Hellblade 2.
Oh God, the game that was first shown as the first game for Xbox, and it's not.
Oh my God, yeah.
Xbox.
I'm not I wasn't a fan of the first one, and I've said that several times. I played it on PlayStation, I played it on the Xbox, and I played it in VR on my PC. But I never did like the combat at all. I thought the combat was like an afterthought.
It was button, button. And
yeah,
it was the same button.
Yeah, I didn't like the combat. The presentation was awesome. The scenery was amazing. But
the audio
Hellblade 2,
ooh, baby.
Why are we still seeing mocap for this game?
Because that's all they can show, man. That's the problem.
I want to see some combat somewhere. At some point, I want to know what stage this game's in. Everybody was saying at the first of this year, oh, it'll be out in 2023. Well, guess what? We're at the end of October.
No, what?
This game ain't coming out in 2023.
I'll tell you what, it's officially not coming out this year. And I'm sorry to break proper games and to go to Fantasy Critic, but we had our draft on like January 3rd or 4th or something like that. First week, someone picked Hellblade 2 in their roster, and you have a counter pick option where you're like, you have faith that a game's either not coming out or it's going to be shitty. And I picked Hellblade 2 back in January because I knew there was no fucking way in hell this game was coming out this year.
Yeah. No.
Not a chance. Not a chance. When the last footage they showed was a picture of their new mocap studio in like last December, it's like,
I mean, I get you're building new studios to make this game, but shouldn't you have a little something to show by now?
I'll be honest. I will be. I don't think I will be surprised if it comes out in 2024. I will be.
I wonder if I'm gonna be alive by the time this motherfucker drops.
The main problem with that is for all the mocap and COVID came out, pushed it back, and this game is pretty much all mocap. With your main character and probably whoever else in your
Now, see,
your
I've
little
played my
side
share of
characters.
FMV games, and I'm not that impressed with some of them.
And I think they have the money, they have the backing, so they're using it to their fullest. So, I mean, I would love for this game to come out next year just so we can say it's done, because it's starting to become a meme of itself.
Ooh.
Hey,
It's becoming the
they
new,
showed us
they showed us
Iceland, then they showed us oh, look at the clothing, then we did get some
it's becoming the
little
new
snippet.
Beyond Good and Evil Part 2 at this point.
Well,
It's
it's
the
co-
right now it's
because
the
you
new
show-
Cyberpunk.
It's
It
abandoned.
will become
Abandoned.
No,
What?
they showed it for the release of the damn console. Like
Right.
they showed it for the teaser, and the game's not even going to come out for this console. That's how bad it is. Like,
Yeah, because I want everybody to quit saying the next gen.
thank
Right.
you.
We're in
Jesus.
current
I've said it.
gen.
I know everybody
it's
keeps
this
on.
gen, yeah.
There's no next gen anything. Next gen will be the next generation of cards / consoles. That's what next gen means. We're in current gen. There's no next gen anything. Now understand now UE5, I get it. Everybody's talking about that's next gen, and it probably is. And that's why all these games that come out in UE5 suck. They're having terrible, terrible issues on PS5, Xbox, PC even. Because UE5 may be easy to use, but it kills your hardware.
It's evidently it's
Hardware's
breaking
not
some
there.
shit.
Hardware's not there to even run what the system can do. Fortnite, yeah, it's able to run on UE5, but also, I mean, look at Fortnite. Sorry,
That's
yes,
also
it
a
looks
first-party
pretty, but it's
game
not
too,
like
right? That's a
it's
first
not-
party game.
it's not utilizing all those extras that UE5 some of these other games are trying to do. So I just think overall, I think that's the issue. We don't have strong enough hardware to keep up with what we're expecting.
If you
And that,
take
could,
the
and that could be what
equivalent,
Hellblade's having an issue with. Hellblade could be a mess. It could be a buggy, choppy frame rate mess. And they're like, yeah, we'll just keep saying mocap will show very short clips of you not playing and just it playing itself to show you, hey, this is what it's going to look like. And then hopefully we'll get our frame
on
rate up.
PC.
Yeah, and no, for sure. Now, granted, I know the last video they showed they said capture on Series X. Again, it was literally pretty much the video of her looking in the water and looking at the walls and whatever. Like it wasn't anything special. And again, we haven't seen combat, which is what everybody has been asking for because they want.
now if you take our current gen consoles, I would say, what do you think the equivalent to a PC? Maybe
Right
maybe a
now,
2060.
I mean, and well, that was the
Right, yeah.
whole concept when it was first coming out. Yeah, maybe a 2060.
Yeah, maybe a
Well,
2060.
And that's just going by graphic hardware that's inside these boxes. Maybe 2060s, but the other thing was the SSDs are faster. But now PC has caught up, of course, because it's been however many years, 4 years now, right? 3,
Yeah.
4.
We're about to enter year 4.
Okay, we're about to enter year 4, so we're almost at year 4 with these consoles that promise the moon and can't deliver. And they just, I think this generation they've definitely over hyped these what they can do, and they just can't. And so, maybe in the next boxes we'll actually get things that are worth it. I mean, because again, we've all seen it. We've gone from the beginning of this generation of having 120 frame per second games, getting 60 frames with a little bit of ray tracing, or getting the 1440p with ray tracing, and having 60 frames at least locked and not having any issues, to literally falling back and having the same stuff but going to 30 frames or not even be able to keep 30 frames. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy that literally the hardware can't keep up with what they're trying to that they've been making for the last 10 years.
I will say this: if we can't get some type of an improvement for the next gen, I won't be buying either console.
You just go PC only.
I'm going to keep my PC.
Just get a PC.
Well, I've already got that. I've got the 4090 sitting here in my little Origin PC, and
I'm definitely thinking about it.
I'm not going to buy
another console.
Hey, I'm like opposite. I'll probably never have a game in PC again because I don't feel like spending $3,000. And this is Canadian, of course.
Right.
Where
Well,
our
see, I've
prices
already
are-
got it though. I've already ordered this
sure.
Origin,
I don't.
and mine was simple.
Buying a 4K,
You know, you've
PC
seen
is
pictures of
not
my
really,
my computer.
not really.
I take
on
the
my,
I take the
roadmap.
side panel off and snap the new graphics card in, install it, and boom.
Yeah, and boom, you're good to go. But for me,
But-
that's 4 or 5K, and that's not on my roadmap.
No,
When
yeah,
I
and
buy
that's-
console for
And that's
$5.
where I'm hoping consoles. I mean, I know consoles will never technically beat out PC. I mean, it just can't happen because
it's
of
not
what
possible.
they're designed for. But at least give us something that's, you know, I just hate the fact that we keep having buggy messes of games or just
I
games
will
that
say,
can't.
I will
frame
say
rate.
that
You know, that's the problem.
now that I have, I got my C2 in December. Finally, with a 120 hertz display, switching that mode on, switching VRR on, and fidelity in Spider-Man 2, it looks fucking pretty good.
Oh yeah,
On that mode.
And
Absolutely.
Golf Dad, to answer your question, it's not that hard, dude.
oh yeah.
Years ago,
But then you have that giant ass motherfucking RBG thing sitting in your living
Well,
room.
shoot, it's the same size as the PS5 now. So what's the difference?
I was gonna say ever
You
since
don't
the
need
advent of
RBG.
HDMI, I was gonna say
hate
since the advent of
RBG.
HDMI's, you could put a PC on a TV no problem.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
all you
oh
do is
yeah,
have
yeah. I
Bluetooth
used to
connected
have.
with your controllers. Done.
I've
But then you have your significant other being like, "What the fuck is that?
I've
fucking
actually-
big
You just-
black
You
box
just
over
kick her
there?"
out,
Dude,
That's
I'm
it.
actually
Hey,
kinda
what'd you say about me?
because I collect movies for I
Shit.
collect movies because I'm just a nut for physical movie media, and I've actually thought about, man, if everything switches to like digital,
Gotta
am I
need
gonna have to
digital
figure out a way to
codes.
finagle a PC into my entertainment center just so that way I could keep up with digital entertainment when it comes to movies and television?
I mean, you're
You just redeem
Uh,
your
Back
little
to try to
code.
answer your question now. I used to have an Alienware Aurora connected to my Samsung TV in my living room. That was years ago.
If you
It
can
sat
hide
underneath
it
my
and still
table.
provide the cooling for it, that would be
Yeah,
ideal.
you couldn't see it, so I
There you
did
go.
that for a little while.
Well, what did you use as the remote, or did you just have wireless keyboard and mouse?
I had a wireless keyboard and mouse.
See, I thought it'd be fun to like have like the pad that like you ever saw like back in the day when the Osbournes were on television and they had like a pad that like operated almost everything in the damn house on it.
Oh yeah,
Hey, now you can go through Origin and buy their, you know, they had one called the Big O that came out
Yep.
during the PS4 and Xbox One era.
Uh,
That they actually put the PS5 Pro or PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X, and a Switch inside of a gaming PC. So you had everything all in one. Of course, it was $10,000 because of all the. You know,
well,
what they had.
dude, that's about what their PCs cost.
Well, I'm just saying it was $10,000 because I mean, crap, you had them having to put coolers on the, you know, shit. I can't think of it right now off the top of my head, but shit.
Yeah, see, that's like mine. Mine's fan cooled and liquid cooled.
Yeah, they had to do liquid cooling because the fan probably would not do enough justice.
Yeah, mine has 8 fans, and it has liquid cool.
Oh yeah. And
But
that's
I've got a
where-
monster of a PC though.
and that's why consoles, it's easier for sure, plug and play no matter where you go, plug and play, quicker to just load games, get out of games, whatever. You're not having to worry about this separate OS that needs updating, and then hopefully you have your right drivers and all that crap. So I get it. I get why PC gaming, a lot of people just don't do it. Makes sense.
It's
Plus,
a lot easier now though because
Yeah,
most of the
definitely
stuff updates by itself.
but consoles definitely still are way easier. I get it. I just hate, I just hate the fact that we keep getting games that aren't, in a sense, finished or that are halfway done just to appease us to release, and then we'll fix it eventually. Things will come eventually. I'm like, dudes, like this is not worth it at that point. Like, don't bring out a game if you're going to tell me, hey, we'll get all these extra features that it should have came with a year from now. Like, no. then
And
don't
see,
bring
the
it out.
bad part of that is too, there's games that you won't never go back to.
Yeah, for sure. Like
100%
100%
right now, I want to go back and finish Starfield,
Yeah, I'll
but
never
until
go
they
back.
they put out a patch,
Yeah,
I can't
you-
fix it.
Point for you.
So, and by
one thing
the
I
time they patch it, I may not even finish it.
The one thing I never understood about PC which I understand why people do it. I understand it. To me, it's just mind-boggling having to set up your shaders.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that just totally. I was just like, why would you want to like spend like any amount of time at all? I don't care if it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes of having to make sure you set up the colors right on your PC.
Yeah, a lot of it's like defaulted and stuff like that. But of course, if you want, because a lot of times, a lot of people do it, especially for COD. That way you can see people. So you get the competitive advantage that way. It's not necessarily for your wonderful story-driven games because there are not many on there that you're worried about.
My Wazid is purple instead of green. You in trouble, son?
Oh yeah, I mean, because you got to think there is a lot of COD folks that literally on PC they don't have it maxed out. What for? They don't want to see all the foliage. They don't want to see all that. They want to see people running around.
Tone it down so you can get 490 frames per second.
You take away all the darkness. You have it pretty somewhat bright, and you can see everything. And that's where these people are really good at it. And that's where you see that.
No, but do they let you do that in a competition?
Yeah, competition. No competition.
That's what I mean. So basically, you're only good at Call of Duty at your computer, but
that's majority of people.
I kick ass at Call of Duty because I've modded my freaking my PC to let me see people.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, that's a lot of people.
I'm still terrible at it. And I've done
there are a lot of really good players that are pros that will shit on every one of us without even batting an eye, no matter what you gave them, whether it's keyboard, mouse, my PC, or somebody else's PC. They'd still
you do that on your consoles.
All right, one thing before we get out of here. I want to do this real quick. Okay, before we get out of here, if you've not watched Saw X, I recommend watching it. It's actually pretty decent. Watched it Friday night. If you have not watched The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix, I recommend giving that a check.
That's
really good show.
That is really good.
And
I have a big issue with it, but I'm not going to get into it here because a lot of people may not have seen it. But overall, it's pretty good.
And there is a new season of Creep Show on Shudder. And I have to admit, it's the best season that I have ever watched. There are 6 episodes. Every one of them is worth it. There's actually a really good one on there. It's a throwback to the creator of Creep Show, George Romero. If you don't know who George Romero is, I feel really bad for you at this point. Especially if you watch anything horror related or zombie related.
Yeah,
because a lot of the stuff goes back to George. So there's a homage in there to him. And it's a really good 6 episodes. You'll definitely enjoy it. And on that note, we are going to get out of here and let's start with Centurion. Tell everybody where they can find you, dude.
All right, man. Great show tonight. Always enjoy the banter with you guys. For those interested in finding me, you can find me at Centurion1307, YouTube, Xbox Live, and of course Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. And you can also find me on the TXR podcast right after this podcast every Sunday. And obviously you can find me here every Sunday with this great batch of gentlemen.
All right. Thank you very much, Bomber.
I appreciate the compliment.
I'm not trying to do the name calling thing, but yes, you're all gentlemen. No.
You can find me. Worse. You can find me everywhere at HR Bomber. If you can't find me, that's a you problem, not a me problem. But yeah, probably won't see me on for about another couple of weeks, probably.
Goodness gracious.
Well, I mean, anyway. Prostitution is popular this time of year, dude.
It kind of is. This last weekend was kind of rough.
Well, see, that's how I thought Ask Wilmy was going to go, because as soon as it popped up, I was like, I really need to ask him, is this a rash?
Don't send me pictures.
Please tell me, does this look like a rash to you?
I get my share of really awkward DMs already.
I can only imagine.
Very awkward DMs. All right, Piniac, tell everybody where they can find you, dude.
Here Sunday nights at 7. Twitter. Refuse to call it X. And yeah, just probably gonna. I think I should be able to knock out the Spider-Man 2 Platinum by the end of the week. And then I'll need to figure out something else to play. But yeah, Scrub, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad y'all made it to the show. Glad everybody could be with us. We had Boom. That was pretty good, too. Shout out to the replay gang who will be around later on. You can find me on Twitter at ScrubNurse3, just like we have it on the screen right now. And you can find me on Twitch, which I've been putting Call of Duty on there. But if I get a gang of folks to play with, maybe Bomber later on down the road, maybe I might start streaming some Halo as well.
Let's go.
You can find me there at Scrub_Nurse. And we'll see y'all next week.
All right, and of course, you can find me here every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern with these guys. You can find me on Twitter. Look for Wilmy Hood number 2. And you can find me, Jesus Christ, on Facebook. You can find me, where else? Xbox, PlayStation, Steam. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. And Golf Daddy, you can find him on the back of a jacked up tailgate, sipping on something ice cold. And listening to George Strait.
George Strait.
I have not heard anything from
That
that
ain't
man in
country.
ages. It's been a long time since I've heard anything from George. But on that note, everybody have a great weekend. What's left of it. Sadly, tomorrow's Monday, but you didn't hear it from me. And thanks to everybody that has watched us on Rumble, and everybody that will go back and watch the replay. And I will have the show everywhere else within the next hour and a half.
Replay crew, what's up?
So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you back here next week.
Peace out.
Bye.